All right, team, let's wait for some of the crew to roll up and continue some Q&A. I know it'll take a little bit of time for people to roll through. I did post in my story that I'm doing Q&A for the Strong Life podcast, but I love to do Q&A through the live. Coach Bergener, great to see you. Gigs, my bro. Fifth Row Lifting Company, sounds awesome. And hello to everybody from all around the world. Get Burley is in the house. Good to see everybody. I will give a little update on the Encyclopedia of Underground Strength. This is the original edition, and I think I'm almost at the point where Amazon is going to accept the whole format of everything. It's tricky because Amazon does like a, Brian, what's up, my bro? Brian, let me know if you want to jump in. It's tricky because Amazon, I think, does AI to look at the formatting of the book, and it's costing me quite a lot of money to get it done. I think I might release the Kindle version of Iron Journeys. Do I have a copy here on my desk? I don't. I have them over there. But I think that might be the way to go. I'd love to hear how many of you read Kindle books. I do not. I've got books all over my desk. Here, all over. And it's I'm running out of room. Garrett, what's up, my bro? Love to see your success. Khalil, what's up, my friend? Let's see who else here. Just a second. My buddy might be tied up. So let's get into a little bit of Q&A. The questions that came through on the story, I'm probably going to answer those through a Strong Life podcast. If I have the time, I've got a pretty wild schedule. And sometimes I'm like, dang, I don't get time to crush the Strong Life podcast. But there's a lot of projects that, a lot of irons in the fire. So let's drop some questions, guys, and see what we could come up with. It's 9:12. I'll go till about 9:30 and see what we could get done here. So I'm going to wait for the first question, strong lifestyle question, training, life, business. Matty Reffler, what's up, buddy? Good to see some of my athletes popping in, and they like to see what's going on. Our athletes are crushing it. I had a coach come through the Underground Strength Gym about a month ago to do a certification, and he saw different groups at my high school, and he was like, man, it's interesting to see the different mindset of the athletes from one group to the next. How you have to keep motivating and giving a speech to one group, then the next group comes in and they just kick ass and crush the place. And I say, yes, mysteries of the mind. Okay, I did see a question here. How to go from 2 plates to 3 plates on the bench press. Louis Simmons always said, you want to increase your bench press, then you need to build muscle and gain weight. And you especially need to grow your arms. You need to put on muscle all around. So, I could give you this long, drawn-out process. I would look at the Westside Barbell Bench Press Secrets book. You're going to have a max effort day, a dynamic effort day, and then your supplemental work is going to be based on your weak areas, and it's going to be bodybuilding work, and it's going to be high volume and intense. So 225 to 315 requires getting those triceps stronger, getting your back and lats stronger. A lot of people don't admit it, but you do need your chest to get stronger. I did find that having a speed day, what I did, this was what helped me really boost up my bench press was, I think I got my buddy coming in here. And let me tell you something that helped me get my bench press up. This was a good one. When I had a speed day on benching, instead of going and doing accessory work with dumbbells and things of that nature, I actually did my accessory work with the barbell. And I think Mark Smelly Bell told me about this long ago. And so what we did was this. I would bench, I'd work up to a 5, a triple, a double, a single, you name it. Then I would lighten the bar about 50%, and I would do speed work. Might be a 3x3, might be a 5x2. And then I would use the same weight for the speed work and do 3 to 5 sets of repetition work of benching. Wide grip, close grip, shoulder width grip. So I basically did more barbell training, and that boosted my bench press. So proper pull-up progressions for kids. Kids are going to start with a recline row. They're going to do other exercises to strengthen their back and biceps. Chest supported row, double kettlebell row, learning how to engage the lats when you're doing a bent over row, recline rope climb, hammer curls, barbell curls. It's interesting how so many people dismiss bicep and shoulder strength when we're looking at pull-ups. I look at it like, what is weak? What is holding this athlete back? And through the years, I've mentioned this a lot, the athletes showing up are weaker and weaker. They struggle with doing dead hangs from a bar, just hanging from a bar. I recently had a kid, he's probably, we're late October. So he started 2 months ago. He maybe could hang on to a pair of rings or monkey bars, pull-up bars for 3 seconds. Maybe. Now he could do it 20 to 25 seconds. So for him, the grip was definitely a limiting factor. He's also a heavier kid. And so, some 8th graders are bigger than seniors in high school. So food for thought is that everybody's going to be different. The lighter athletes have more relative body strength. All right, let's see the next question. Here we go. Thoughts on 12-year-old hockey team adding truck pushing to dry lane training? I wouldn't. I would get a bunch of pushing sleds, and I would have athletes sprinting with sleds, pushing heavy sleds. I would do a variety of sled work. I've mentioned it many times on the Strong Life podcast, QnAs. I do it as well. If you go through any of my certifications, sleds, carries, calisthenics, they are a must-have whether I'm training athletes of youth, middle school, high school, college, or adults. I do them every day. Toro trainer, I have a fracture in my hand. I'll have to stop for 2 to 3 months. How much strength will I use? Good question. What I recommend here is, this happens a lot at the high school. I had a kid actually come up today. I said, pretty easy. 1-arm bench, 1-arm kettlebell squat, 1-arm military press, 1-arm row. We had a swimmer that somehow broke his hand. I can't remember what he did. We put ankle weights. We just strapped him on his hand. Side raises, front raises, rear delt, military press, anything we could do to load this without touching his hand. And I remember he said, man, this feels so light. But as soon as that cast was off, we started crumbling newspaper, opening up rubber bands around the fingers, and began light dumbbell training, like revitalizing that hand, retraining it. I did miss a question. You could ask, there's somewhere where you could post a question. I missed some questions. Broke hand, extra squats on a safety squat bar. Correct. How do you feel about training Gen Pop moms, hockey dads with traditional basic weightlifting? Push, pull, carry. We do this in privates at my gym, and when I had my gym up in North Jersey, we did it. What we did was, I think I discussed it in my SSPC cert, we remove like a lot of the dynamic type warm-up. What I don't like to do is train the adults with kids, especially men, because men start saying things like, oh, I could do that, or I used to do that. Yes, but you did it 16 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that's how they get hurt. So for adults, sleds, dumbbell squat, they could back squat, trap bar deadlift. I'm almost 48, and yes, I still do these things, but then again, I've never stopped training since 1989. But adults could do it. We primarily down at my current location, Manasquan, our adults do a private, a one-on-one or a semi-private, like maybe 2 or 3 adults in a group. And I might do like some easy skipping, some easy side shuffling. Sled drags are great. You're doing, some like full body or total body strength and bodybuilding work. Muscle building is the fountain of youth for adults. Okay? Johnny, what's up? Having problems with TFL and IT band. All right, buddy, you got to roll that sucker out. You have to do some body tempering. Follow Donnie Thompson, but you have to roll that out daily. The IT band can be tough if you have a small pipe. You could roll it out. You could utilize fat bells as well. All right, question from Mrs. Minitang. Coaching 6th to 8th grade cross-country teams. Yes, some care, some just participating. Aside from obvious basketball fundamentals or X-team kids and conditioning, what is your primary focus for their mentals? That's very interesting because a high school kid said it to me last year about the track team. He said, it's interesting. Like 10% of these track athletes are serious. He's like, I feel the other 90%, 80% are here because their mom told them to participate in something, not necessarily play basketball, baseball. So how do you do it? Build confidence, identify their wins. Hey, you couldn't do any push-ups, or last week, your core was sagging on push-ups. Now you're doing 5 or you're doing 1. That's 100% more than 0. Getting them strong is the best way to build their confidence. How do we get them strong? Even if they're, ex-team kids. So it sounds like what you're saying is they were on a team. They didn't make it. So now you got to do some basic strength training. So do simple to teach, easy to learn. Farmer walks, sleds, jumps, walking lunges, walking on your hands sideways. If you have medicine balls, throw med balls against the wall. Partners 15 feet away. Throw it as hard as you can. Short distance sprints. Sprinting short distances makes the whole body strong. Then put together like a simple 1-page handout that they take home that gives them like, here's a sample breakfast. Here's a sample lunch. Snacks after school. Here's what needs to be at home. Or you could make it a PDF. The kids take a screenshot of it, save it to their favorites, because you have to really hammer home nutrition with these kids. If they are home with parents who were never in athletics, they will skip breakfast or eat a bowl of cereal or a bagel. They will buy the school lunch. They'll come home and have some sort of a processed, snack in a wrapper. Dinner will probably be pasta or carbs. And then we're lucky if they eat at night. We want them to start eating pancakes and bacon on the weekends. Breakfast is going to be eggs and home fries, like real potatoes sliced up and put in a frying pan with some salt and pepper and some butter or a spoon of olive oil. Lunch, I pack my kids chicken and rice in a thermos. Other kids, I tell them 2 sandwiches. I'm on the kids at my school like crazy about this. I love those kids that didn't make the team if they're willing to commit to the strength training. And if they're in high school, I got to, you said 6th to 8th grade, but I got to tell you, some of these high school kids don't have muscle. I have no problem with them joining Planet Fitness, doing every single machine, but trying to train hard on it. Do a leg press, lat pull down, cable row, push downs, dumbbell curls, dumbbell bench, dumbbell farmer walk. Johnny Monstrous, you got those pipes, bro. You need it to be a little bit heavy. Look at Donnie Thompson's old YouTube videos. He shows body tempering in them. Intramural, yes, Mrs. Mini Tank. Get them strong. Build muscle. How do you stay motivated to lift after 50? I'm 48 in 5 weeks. I'm always motivated. I love it. Everything surrounding me is strength, okay? Strength training books. Strength training books, strength training books, strength training books. Everywhere. Why? I love it. I love what it does for me physically, emotionally. I love it. I don't need, I think others that struggle with motivation, you have to understand that without your health, you have nothing. You can't enjoy life. So be strong, be fit, and do it at a time that it'll get done. For me, I do it in the morning before I head out to the high school. My friends at the high school train during their lunch break or their prep. It's about finding a time it's like a zero option. You will get it done. Yes, no problem for the advice. Seeing if I missed any questions. Any other questions, please feel free to ask. And if I missed them, I'm going to try to answer these questions in the next Strong Life podcast. One of the questions submitted was how to get strong triceps. It's interesting, I just mentioned machines. That is good. When somebody is like lacking muscle and can't even do a push-up, get them on machines. Leg extension, leg curl, leg press. I don't care. Do 2 to 3 sets of 15 and 2 to 3 hard sets of 8 to 12. For arms, at my school, we have like a multi-station machine, lat pull down, cable row, tricep push downs. When I do tricep push downs, I get a pump. It does not compare to line dumbbell extensions, rollbacks, barbell, easy curl, skull crushers. One of my favorites to do is on rings. You could also set up a barbell in a squat rack, body weight, full body weight, skull crushers. Your lats, your abs get hit. I do them on rings, and then the rings kind of lean forward. It's one of my favorite exercises. It blows up the triceps, and like I said, it is a core/trunk stability exercise. And so that's a favorite of mine. But sometimes I have to tell athletes, I'll say, you're doing arms for the last 5-6 minutes, but you're not allowed to touch machines. It has to be dumbbells or barbells. So if you're doing curls, barbell, dumbbell, fat bell. If you're doing triceps, it's got to be dumbbells. Overhead dumbbells, tricep extensions laying down. You get too fancy with stuff, you don't get big. You don't get strong. Look, right here. This is some cool stuff. My buddy Ed Cosner, give him a follow. His friend had a phone call with Ed Cohn, and he took notes and sent it to me as a Word document, printed it out, of course. So look at this old book by Fred Hatfield. All these books tell you all about big eating, big lifting, training for strength. The interwebs want to BS you and tell you all this fancy stuff. Look at Arnold's encyclopedia. He is what inspired me to create my encyclopedia. It's the basics. Floyd Farms, think the Eagles are going to go all the way this year. I know you are secretly a fan. I don't follow the NFL that much, but my buddy John Welborn played in the NFL, played, I think, 5 years for the Phillies. Whenever I see somebody with the Eagles jersey or Eagles hat, I'm like, are you a real Eagles fan? They're like, yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you a trivia question. And I drop my boy Johnny Welborn's name. I will watch the Giants. My buddy Craig Fitzgerald coaches there. And I'm trying to think of who else do I follow? I'll sometimes play it. I got to tell you, obviously I am born in Israel, and I've been watching the news, and it's extremely stressful to watch the news. I don't wish any of that on anybody, but I think in a nutshell, all of us should be against terrorism. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to push any political stuff out there. I'm trying to think, there was a question here. I did the pull-ups. I did the truck pushing question. Here we go. Have a great question. How should I train as an athlete when my main goal is maximum muscle mass because I'm skinny? Usually, I don't want to say usually, there's certainly genetics involved. Some kids are genetically skinny. They could eat a lot and still stay ripped, but they're often not eating enough. And I was reminded of this when I saw, here's my guy Ryan Willie, okay, strongest man of Instagram. All right, I'm just stating the facts, people. My buddy Brian Bott posted a photo. I did a podcast with him last week or 2 weeks ago. I shared it. Okay, Floyd Farms piece, I shared it on Strong Life Podcast or cross-posted it. His son, I think, had a broken foot or broken leg, was casted up. And during that time, he couldn't really lift lower body. When you can't squat and deadlift, it has this like overall effect on your body that almost stops. I don't want to say stop. It certainly slows the muscle building strength process. So he was talking about his son having protein shakes, putting a shot of olive oil in there. I was like, man, I have not heard somebody mention that secret in a long time. Skinny athletes, their parents are probably like, no, you can't have olive oil. It's got fat in it. That's what young athletes need who are skinny, who are exerting a lot of calories. They need to eat whole eggs. Their breakfast, my son, over the weekend, it's always pancakes, bacon, eggs. But last week was eggs. He had a slice of toast with peanut butter on it. Then he had a piece of banana nut bread for breakfast, chocolate milk. That's how these kids need to eat. A kid who's telling me he's skinny, I guarantee you his breakfast is a bowl of cereal with 2% milk, which to me is like water in disguise on Halloween. It's water walking around with a white sheet. So, 2 sandwiches. They'll never eat 2 sandwiches. They'll always eat 1. That's why you're skinny. They'll come home. They will not eat an early dinner or have a shake. They'll come home and say, there's no food. I just ate some chips. So they'll eat lunch at school at 10:30. They won't eat dinner until 6:30, 8 hours later. You're skinny because of your poor eating habits. If you go inside undergroundstrengthcoach.com, download Good to Great. That is the ebook I wrote with John Wellborn and Travis Mash. We put nutrition tips in there. I put my nutrition guidelines in there for athletes. I'm actually going to get that book printed so I could gift it to our athletes at the Underground when they sign up. I'm going to take one last question. I have not seen people trash the decline bench. I used it decades ago, inspired by Dorian Yates, watching him and reading about him in the early 90s. But I believe I either saw articles in like Flex magazine, because I think in Blood and Guts he does incline barbell bench. Beginner weightlifters, if we're talking about kids learning barbell lifts, then I start them with front squats. That is the lift I start them with because it helps them, or zombie squats, then front squats. All right, guys. I'm going to hit the road. I appreciate everybody with the questions. Strong Life Podcast. Make sure you are subscribed or follow it on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. Free training courses. How do I get big? How do I get strong? Body weight, strength training, all that. ZachStrength.com. ZACH strength.com. Get your free training courses and stop, waiting for the algorithm of the Instagram to save you. You got to remember, Instagram suppresses people who are putting out messages about being strong, healthy, and self-sufficient. That's the unfortunate truth. I'm out of here.